What's up, tribe? How's it going? Welcome to Pages of Ascension. Welcome back if you have been hanging out with me for a little bit. So this is a kind of an impromptu, excuse me, full moon reading, as those of you that probably watch tarot on YouTube also probably keep up with what's going on in the heavens in some degree of astrology, since a lot of readers mention it. I am no different than that. I do pay attention to the heavens and what's going on. So we have a full moon in Aries that's popping up tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow, around 8:30ish in the morning, I want to say, somewhere around there. I could pull out my phone and look at my little moon calendar, but I'm not going to do it. But in any case, we do have a full moon tomorrow, and it is in the sign of Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars is the planet of war. Okay, so ironically, though, and I don't know if it's just because of where Scorpio, the sign of Scorpio, is in the houses right now, this doesn't feel, at least what I've been picking up. I am picking up a great degree of chaos. I'm picking up a lot of surprises. I'm feeling like there's going to be, oh my God, excuse me. Now I'm suddenly having nose issues. Some of you out there might be having sinus issues right now. Mine have basically disappeared, so the nose isn't an issue. That's definitely someone who's watching this video. If you're putting stuff up it, you need to stop. Okay? That's come through for someone pretty specific. Lay off that stuff. So in any case, man, it's really thick right now. Okay. We're good? We're good. Okay. Okay, so like I was saying, I don't know if it's because of all the places that Scorpio is in right now. I mean, there are going to be a lot of tower moments, a lot of surprises, a lot of surprise communication. I got my own version of that last weekend. Thank you very much. But there's going to be a lot of that going on for quite a few people in the collective. I don't think for a lot of people this is going to be a time that is filled full of conflict. If anything, it might be a time of settling conflicts. That's more what I'm picking up, but there's definitely change in the air. That's something I've been picking up here for at least the last month and a half. So yeah, not sure what the bulk of this reading is going to look like card wise. We're going to go with Tarot Visions, and I decided to pull out the Tarot of Dreams. Special sauce. Okay, so Tarot Dreams, and then I decided to pull out Tarot of the New Vision because I have not played with these for a while, and I was showing them to a couple of people this past week, and I remember how much I actually really love these cards and the messages they trigger. So we're going to bust these out for our clarifiers, and I've got a set amount of cards here that these ones tend to give really good messages, so I'm feeling that. But as far as the spread goes, I might just do the 4. I'm not sure. So roll with me, settle in, grab some popcorn, because this is totally unscripted, as all my readings basically are. But because it's on the fly, I have no idea what's going to come out, what this is going to be about, or how long this is going to be. So feel free to pause me if you need to. Go grab yourself a drink. I've got myself a sweet tea right here. Yes, I went there. And let's get in on this, okay? So I hope the rest of the week turned out to be fantastic for y'all. Whew, okay, that was fast. It was relatively mild, I feel like, today. There was the potential for there to be a lot more like tumultuous energy, and there just was not, which I am super grateful for, because that shit gets old real fast. But I do hope everybody had a productive week. I know that sometimes that can kind of mess with my weekend if I feel like I haven't had a productive week. So of course I always wish that for y'all. Okay, you know what? I think we're going to do 5. We're going to do 5 positions, because this is a time of change. And 5 is the number of change. And y'all know I always like to finish out my shuffle I don't know if I'm just a freak of nature for that or what, but I really prefer to finish out my shuffle and always take a look at what's at the bottom of the deck. We got 3 of Swords. We're not keeping that because I just wanted to take a peek. So this might have to do with some degree of love and heartbreak, but we will see as more comes out. So we have the Knight of Wands. I hope y'all can see that okay. I'm a little far from the laptop this time around. Okay, and then we have, oh, my favorite lady, the High Priestess. 3 of Coins, working hard or hardly working. Oh, I think the Priestess is working very hard, even though it may look like not a whole lot's going on. Okay, maybe doing some work in the astral. It's interesting that I'm even getting that, but yeah, this could be some of you that are highly intuitive, and you might have noticed a large disruption in your sleep, or like extra vivid dreams, or you just might notice I call them spidey senses. Your spidey senses are kind of popping off a little bit more than normal. It's probably because you're doing work in the astral. So then we've got 10 of Coins, tangible abundance. Okay, the Hermit card. We've taken a step back to go within. Hells yes, because there's something we need to either walk away or walk towards. Let's find out what that is. Walk towards. King of Wands. Sorry, my table is kind of shifting here because nothing is, I have to, anyways, move stuff around at the last minute. So, forgive the shifting. Okay, and then we have 4 of Swords. It's time for rest. Whoo! So we can step into the position of Emperor. Hell yes. Okay, so my peoples, this Aries full moon, a lot of y'all are getting an upgrade, like straight up upgrade. We're going literally from the Knight. We're going within with the Hermit to contemplate the next step, to figure out the next moves that you need to make, the moves that have, or I should say the information that has been unveiled for you while you've been in this contemplation meditative state, excuse me, with the High Priestess, and that's my burp, so that is confirmation that I am on the right track here. But basically the work that you've been doing in the astral on yourself, in utilizing and following your intuition, you're going within in this hermit phase to, this is introspection for me. This is deep contemplative introspection about how to make tangible abundance appear in your life. Okay? Knowing that you have to walk and step into this role. You have to. It is necessary to elevate from the knight to the king. Because if you don't go through that step and actually trying to become the king, trying to become the master of your domain, you can't become the emperor. You have to go through these steps first. There's no skipping around. The fact that the page isn't on the table tells me that you've already conquered the state of being a page, of being immature. You still have this flighty energy where you're going in and out and you can't quite figure out what direction you want to go, but that has come to an end. You've had some type of, as I like to call it, a come to creator moment that you need to work a little harder in order to affect the actual change that you want to see in your life. Okay. Tangible abundance, walking towards that tangible abundance. And I do feel like it is happening for a lot of you this full moon. The one thing that I want to stress that you should keep in mind is to not overwork yourself, to not overdo it, to not so that's one thing, at least that I've noticed in my own path. I'll get into certain states where all I want to do is consume information because there's so much that I want to know that I literally I can't get enough of it. This is, the hours watching YouTube videos on a particular topic, or what I like to call a Google NATO, where you've got probably like 25 tabs open looking for one specific thing that leads you to another thing and another thing and another thing and another thing. I call it the rabbit hole, the Google NATO rabbit hole. Okay, which is wonderful, but totally a time suck. But it's learning to balance that. You've done all the research that you need to do. You've got all the resources that you need. You've researched all you need to, and now it's time to rest so you can assimilate that information so that you can determine exactly what steps you need in order to walk towards it. Okay? The funny thing about this card, and I have a whole new appreciation of the Four of Swords, because when I was sick 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I have no concept of time right now. 2 weeks ago, we'll say, when I wasn't able to do that midweek check-in for y'all, every time I picked up the cards to try to, like, look at something for me, looking at something for someone else, sit down to try to pull a reading for y'all, because, I miss y'all when I can't talk to you every week. It's really weird. But I kept getting this card. And something that I've been picking up all summer is like, you need to rest. You need to go on a vacation. You need to be still. You need to rest. Like, it actually got to a point that other people were picking this up in the cards for me, with other students of tarot, if you will, as I sometimes help out with that. And, we trade reading each other just for practice. And they were even picking that up. You need to rest. You need to sit still. It's hilarious now when I look back on it. And the irony of it all. So what I want to tell you, especially because of the fact that this card is ruled by Libra, okay, a time of rest is needed so you can balance. A time of rest is needed so that you can step into this emperor role, okay? If you don't rest, you're going to miss the boat. I'm not talking about sitting on your laurels. What I'm talking about, especially for those of you who can identify with this, and you burn it at both ends. I'm definitely someone who will burn it at both ends. I've been that way my entire life. It's hard as hell to break. I will get there. Okay? But for those of you who also find yourself in that energy, and you play with cards, or you have personal card readings done, you'll see this card coming up a lot. And it's coming up a lot because you need to listen to it. It's not that there isn't more work to be done, and it isn't that, you've just passed every single test, you learned every single lesson. It isn't that. But there comes a time when you've reached your saturation point and you have to step away. Because if you don't step away, you'll actually miss new information that you need because you can't absorb anything else. For those of you that are college students, or have recently been in college, or have just recently been in school and know exactly what I'm talking about, it's like or senioritis, I think is what they called it in high school. But it's like you get to a certain point and you just kind of have no more fudges to give. That did not sound right. I'm trying here, y'all, okay? But you get to a point where you don't have any more to give. You don't care. You've reached your saturation point. There's no more information that can go, and it's overload, shutting down, blue screen of death, okay? So I feel like for a lot of you, as I'm seeing this progression here, going from the night, to listening to your intuition with that high priestess, and actively working to listen to your intuition, to going to the hermit and learning to sit still and go within, listening to the information that you're getting, the downloads that you're getting, while you're in the high priestess. And here you are contemplating how to integrate that so that you can get to this. So you can get to your 10 of Pentacles, your tangible abundance that you can hold in your hand, okay? And the progression from that, coming out of this hermit phase, recognizing what it is that you need, where you need to go in order to get this tangible abundance that's literally been dangling itself right in front of you, realizing, oh my God, excuse me, there it is again. Realizing that you need to elevate, that it's time for you to elevate. So to stand in your kingship, to stand in your pride, to stand tall and recognize that you are quite literally the ruler of your kingdom. But you're recognizing that even with this level up to the King of Wands, that's not good enough for you. You want to do better. You want to rule the whole damn country. You want to rule the empire. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay? So, But you're recognizing that in order to do that, well, hopefully, this is a confirmation for you, at least on that end. And there's the post-nasal drip again. Okay. So for some of you out there, it's recognizing that even throughout this pattern of growth, you can still grow when you're at rest. And sometimes rest is necessary. Think about young children when they're having their growth spurts, they sleep a lot. Okay, a lot, like ridiculous amounts. Okay, and that's because they're growing. The body needs to be in a place of rest in order for the cells to do what they need to in order to elevate you to the next level, okay? Or elevate the kid to the next level. So I'm going to jump into our clarifiers here. I hope that makes sense. Only part of this is making sense to me, but that's kind of how it goes sometimes. When you're in the channeling mode, I probably won't remember any of this. It's very strange how that happens. But so let's see where you need the perspective shift, or how you can shift your perspective to elevate. Because I'm curious as to, we're seeing all this on the table, and this is literally your tipping point right here. The 10 of Pentacles, the Hermit, and the 8 of Cups. Learning where you need to be putting your energy into, or I should say sitting still enough to figure out where you need to pour your energy into in order to get to the 10 of Pentacles. This is your tipping point, okay? Yeah, I very rarely ever clarify the High Priestess. This could have to do with job, but honestly, this feels a lot more spiritual in nature. I don't think this has to do with another person. Granted, that could change with the clarifiers. We'll see what comes out. And there it is again, bottom of the deck. So this might have to do with love, leveling up so that you can have the type of partnership that you actually desire. It could be that. But still, at the end of the day, even if love is involved, this feels a lot more spiritual in nature. It's a spiritual evolution for for you. Okay? What do we want to know? Okay, so I think I want to clarify these two because I'm trying to figure out if you're walking towards something or walking away from something. I think it's towards this leveling up of the King of Wands, but like just a little bit of confirmation for that. So there it is again. Okay. I'm hearing that song again. Okay, so the midweek collective reading that I did for this week, it's called I Can See Clearly Now. The song that I have in my head is the bright and sunshiny day one. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. That one. Okay, I keep hearing that song. I've been hearing it all day. It's nuts. But this is, and here's the thing that's so trippy about the Four of Cups in this particular deck. As you can see, there's the Pegasus flying straight for the person, and the person's leaned up against a tree, but we have no idea if they're looking at the Pegasus or not. Are they looking at the Pegasus? Are they looking at the cup? Are they looking at the cup that's literally coming out of the sky? What are they looking at? Are they looking down? Are they texting on their phone? We have no idea, okay? But I feel like eye is on the prize for work. And this is a doubled up energy here with the Three of Coins, okay? So there's definitely something that you're working towards to try to become stable, to become more stable, And to some degree, I feel like for some of you, you're almost hyper focused on this, so you don't see anything that the universe is trying to bring into you to help you level up. That's like one of the flip sides, if you will, of hyper focusing, as I call it, or narrowing your vision on one thing, one goal, and going after it. Okay. Some of the best entrepreneurial minds in the world, they have the ability to do that. They block out everything else and they single-handedly focus on one thing until it gets done. The awesome side of that is that they're able to produce, amazing quality things, products, ideas out of being able to hyper focus on an idea. But the problem is they might forget to clean their house, they might forget to do the dishes, they might forget to brush their teeth, they might forget their tie in the fridge. It's making sure that you're not so focused on one thing that you can't see anything else, because even though you have the ability to do that, you can still miss the elevation that's needed, or the information that comes through for the elevation that's needed if you're too hyper focused on one thing. And part of being able to distinguish when you need to take a step back from, focusing so intensely, and when you need to focus more intensely or direct your energy elsewhere, is rest. And when we're not rested, we don't make good decisions, generally speaking. Okay, so let's see what else we've got. Are we walking towards or walking away? It reminds me of this painting that I've got in my living room. It's of a mountain range, and there's this road going down like what looks like the center of a plains area, as you reach the succession area is not the right word for it, but I'm having a brain fart, but where it goes from plains to hills to mountains. And you can tell just by the way that this painting was made that this is someone traveling at high speeds. But because of the view that you look at, going into this black hole of a mountain range, you don't know if the person is coming or going. And it's so crazy because it's one of the things that I will ask people when I allow them into my space. Is I'll ask, what do you see in this painting? Some people try to hyper figure out like what mountain range it is. Some people try to figure out, how it was done. They're looking at the technique. They're looking at if it's production. They're looking at the clouds. But the most interesting one that I've ever heard is, well, I don't know. Are you coming or going? This is that. Okay? Are you coming or are you going? And that's what we're trying to figure out. So it looks like this is something that we're, walking. So both. You're walking away from poverty consciousness into an abundance mindset and applying your efforts towards that here. 3 of Pentacles is going to lead you to your preferred happy place. What makes you happy? 10 of Cups. Okay? So that's interesting. That's really interesting. So yeah, for some of you, this could have to do with work. It could be feeling like you're just put out, that no one cares. There's no one around to help you. And it's really interesting with this particular deck. Normally you see 2 people, looks like a masculine energy and a feminine energy, and they're tattered and they look cold and just disheveled and even disabled. But for this particular card, and someone actually pointed out, like, I can't tell if they're holding a doll or not. But for me, this actually reminds me of a single parent. This is my single parent card. Okay? And part of that is learning. Part of why I think it's popping up in this particular sector is that, at least for some degree of time, you may have to still, how do I word this? Find a way to still be happy with yourself, with your life, with the way things have turned out, even though you're doing this by yourself. So with that said, I do feel like for some of you out there, it's possible that you may have just split up from the parent of your child. So baby mama, baby daddy, baby person. And it's learning to find your happiness again. Beside that, despite that, it's walking away from that conflict to go within. This feels like someone who really throws himself into their work and then are prone to come home and drink. Or I should say come home and indulge, because it's not always alcohol with the Cups card. It can be any indulgence. I'm really surprised the 7 of Cups didn't come up for that. I don't feel like for a lot of you that's the heavier part of okay, let me back up. That's the heavier part of this message. I don't feel like for a lot of you that's the primary message. The primary message is that you've done all this work and you're elevating, so you need to rest. Like, point blank, period, end of story. That's pretty much it. But when we get into like the nuts and bolts, for some of you, this, because I'm trying to figure out, like, that's two different decks that we had the three of swords underneath. So, it's recovering from heartbreak. It's, moving on after experiencing a significant heartbreak. Um, and still trying to find ways to feel emotionally abundant despite that heartbreak, which is not easy. That's not easy at all. Hmm. I feel like you've got more help around you than you realize. There might be some people you've been discounting as potential allies to help you through this situation. And that's something to keep in mind as well. We run across lots of people, lots of different situations on, an everyday basis for most of us anyway. Different information in books, websites, whatever it is, okay, whatever, online platform or whatnot that you're on. And sometimes we can so easily dismiss something that's said just because we feel someone doesn't know us. They don't know our situation. They've never met us before. So again, it's coming back to that midweek collective reading that I did for this week. It's being able to listen objectively. Yeah, it's being able to remain objective as you're working towards your goal, recognizing that sometimes the information that you need may come from a truly unexpected source. Um, yeah, there's really not much more I'm getting beyond that, so we're going to move on. King of Wands. What do we got for the King of Wands? Wow, with the threes. I spoke too soon. And there's the Knight. So this is the king trying to this is the king trying to deny the urges of the page. Or excuse me, the knight. It's choosing to let go of the behavior of the knight, making a choice and transcending yourself into the King of Wands energy. Okay, let me see if it's going to give me anything else. I feel like it's starting to repeat a little bit. So, yeah, let's see if we get some other storyline or something coming through. Okay, I guess you really wanted to come out. Yeah, this is tangible abundance. It feels like money, but, when I say abundance, it's very easy to immediately think money, but abundance does not always come in the form of money. Abundance can come in many forms. A lot of that is just perception. The sun. Okay, so I feel like there's good things coming. You just need to remember to take a break, take it easy this full moon. Don't forget to do your releasing work, Don't forget to do your releasing work. 8 of Cups. Decide on what it is that you make a choice. Effectively, what this is telling me is that you need to make a choice. Make your choice, then take a step back. And in doing so, that's how you're going to be able to elevate. I'm sorry, I feel like that's super cryptic, but I'm just not getting anything else besides that. And everything else is coming through is just a repeat of what I said. So, let's go to our cards here. So, let's look at dreams first. Okay, I have to take a sip of my tea. Get this, Batman. Okay. It says, where you are is where it's at. Stay still until divinely moved. Do I even need to say anymore? This is hilarious. Okay. Four swords. To rest. It's time to rest. It's time to rest. It's time to be still. It's time to rest. It's time to be still. And just in case I didn't tell you, it's time to rest. It's time to be still. Okay. The time is not now to make whatever moves that you want to make. And that's actually backed up by the cards here, because I'm not seeing any movement cards other than the Knight of Wands, and that's energy that's moving away, that's moving out of your life. What I do feel like you need to make is a choice. There is a choice that needs to be made here. You make your choice and you rest. Didn't I literally just say that before I turned over this card? Make your choice and then be still. And in doing that, getting out of that chaotic energy, you're telling the universe, hey, I've decided what it is that I want. I'm ready for you to bring it in. Let's do this, biz. Okay. Very, very, very interesting. I kind of want to look in the book for this one, because I don't think this one has come up for me before. So there is a short quote in here by Thomas Mann. It says, solitude gives birth to the original in us, to beauty unfamiliar and perilous to poetry. Okay, so the message here, it says, when you feel resistance, it might mean you're not up to the task. Then again, it might mean that you are up to the task but don't realize your own strength. Resistance sometimes serves to preserve your energy and keep you safe. Without resistance, you might maniacally say yes. Say yes to everything, perhaps for fear of missing out. Don't be about that FOMO, yo. Okay? But right where you are is holy ground. I'm going to repeat that, okay? Right where you are is holy ground. From a quantum physics perspective, you are already everywhere, and everyone and everything is within you. When you realize this, there can be no fear of missing out, because you are already where it's at. Booyah! Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Honor the spirit of resistance and know it will be with you through every step of your hero's journey. You've done enough inner work to know the difference between a yes and a no. Did I not just say that? Okay, it's wise to pause. It's wise to pause and consider your choices and actions with respect to your available energy, schedule, and resources. So the dream symbol for this is saying no. It's learning to say no. It's learning to say, I need this for me, and taking a step back. Wow. So, wow, I can't even with that. That almost worked out a little too perfectly. And I did not look at these cards after I pulled them. I just pulled them and set them down. That's it. I did the shuffle cut versus letting it like flip out and fly across the room. So yeah, rest is what's called for at this time. Like I said, there is a decision that needs to be made, but you need to make that decision and sit still until you're guided to make moves, until you're guided to take a step forward. You see with this emperor isn't moving. This emperor is resting. Okay, so again, it's some of you could possibly be burning yourself at both ends and needing to learn when to take a step back. Miss Scusi. Okay. Wow, unbelievable. And that equals a 5. So yeah, this is divinely guided change, I feel like. Just with all these very spiritual cards coming through, High Priestess and Hermit, which are two of the most spiritual for me in the deck. I'm not saying the Hierophant isn't. It's a different angle on that. But these two, esoterically speaking, are some of the most spiritually based cards in the deck. In tarot, for me. Okay? Very interesting. Okay, let's look at what our ancestors are trying to tell us, which is shooting star And that stands for confirmation. Hot diggity. I haven't gotten this one at all either, so we're going to go in the book for this one too. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm so sorry the table's moving. Thank you for your patience. Shooting star. That is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so confirmation. It says, this is a magical moment. The universe is poised to respond to your wishes, and this card has turned up to confirm that it is so. You have felt this for a while, but haven't fully allowed yourself to believe it. But it's time to trust your feelings and know that all is perfectly fine. In fact, it is better than fine. You are truly blessed with heightened manifestation abilities right now. So take this opportunity to bring about all that you desire. Ride the shooting star through the cosmos, fill up on stardust, and know that whatever you wish for at this time will be granted. Very interesting. That's very interesting. And I feel like for some of you, it's some type of financial abundance related to emotional abundance. It's like love. And that's the thing. Of course, you've heard me say it before if you've been following me for a little bit, but love and money are on the same vibration, but fear and love can't exist in the same space. You can't be afraid to be poor and then expect to be abundant. You can't have fear in there at all because you can't fear and they don't exist. They're polar opposites of the same vibrational level. Just like money and love are at the same vibrational level, but love is a little bit more on that light side, whereas money is a little bit more on that dark side. And the key is to find the balance in that, okay? Let's not burn my book. So other divinatory meanings, it says your focus and positivity bring you good fortune. All you have hope for is about to be realized. Keep your thoughts positive, for your manifestation abilities are strong and can turn the outcome either way. Be careful what you wish for. Real talk. Be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. Okay? It kind of reminds me of like someone who is lusting after another person and they want this person and want this person and want this person and they just can't live without them. They need to be around them, so they turn around and do something stupid as hell like a love spell to try to make them want them. Okay? And actually someone that I spoke with just a couple of weeks ago, she had mentioned something like that for a client that she had one time that wanted a love spell because she just really wanted this person, and then he became obsessed with her and tried to kill her ass. Like, not the person I was talking to, but the client that she was dealing with. And it's kind of like that. It's like you might be wishing for something and wishing for something, and the universe has blocked it and not let it come in, not realizing that the rejection of that not happening was actually your protection to begin with. Okay? Again, that growth. You need to rest so you can assimilate all these energies. You need to rest so you can assimilate all that you've learned to get to this point. Okay, so what your activation is likely going to be for this full moon is emergence. Okay, so it says the frequency of emergence invites us to approach our reality with a childlike attitude of innocence and wonderment, and to watch and celebrate the beauty that unfolds from that place. AKA, loosen up. Oh, the glare is so bad on that. I am so sorry. There we go. Excuse me. Yeah, that's saying do a little bit more of this and a lot less of this, and it's going to be really easy to get to this. Okay? Actually, I really say a lot easier to get to this. Because the seed is there. You just have to take advantage of it. Aces are merely opportunities. They guarantee nothing. Okay? So, let's see here what we're at. 40 minutes? Actually, I think I'm going to pull one card from my Notes from the Universe deck. Notes from the Universe on love and connection. And just because the element of love did come up, it's probably a theme for some of you that come across this. So yeah. let's take a peek. And these I definitely have to shuffle on camera because they're double-sided. So I kind of let them fly out. All right. Spirit, let's give us one more message for the collective for this full moon. Now that I've like finally said that, finished my sentence. Oh my gosh. It says, prepare to be astounded. Send them love, wish them peace, see them happy. Everyone, always, forever. And prepare to be astounded. The universe. P.S. Oh man, and will you ever become a big time manifester? What's the theme? This is like a theme for the entire reading. Okay. So this full moon cycle, and I say the cycle until the next new moon, I count that as like the full moon cycle time, which is why often when I do these videos, it may not happen until day of the full moon, because I feel like those energies go beyond just the day or even the 3 days before, and themes emerge. Anyways, if you want a video about that, I'll make one. Just let me know down in the comments. But in any case, whatever you've been working on is about to come to fruition. And what I'm feeling like is there's not any more work to do other than make a decision on what it is you really want to go for. Whatever decision you make, you're going to end up with it. You're going to be the emperor of that. You will rule the empire of whatever choice it is that you decided to make. Okay? But I feel like generally speaking, especially because the second card out was the High Priestess, I'm not actually going to be allowed to see a whole lot more, which is why it's, at least for me, it's feeling repetitive. But I do think your world is about to be rocked. Possibly in like the best way ever. Okay? So, that's all she wrote, yo. So yeah, happy full moon, Aries. I love you. I've got gratitude for each and every one of you. Thank you for joining me for the 42 minutes and about 20 seconds of your time. And I will catch y'all on the flip side. Bye.